So Abdullah could perhaps help us understand what is the solution of this? What is the solution with jihad, Abdullah?
Which jihad?
The one in the Quran, the one which is Islamic, the one which Muhammad practiced.
Well, as a Christian, former Christian, I can tell you that the Bible and Quran, both of them talks about holy wars. So the solution to jihad stems with, if there's no evil in this world, if there's no oppression in this world, then jihad becomes outdated, becomes non-applicable.
Sure.
So the question is, why is it in the Bible speaks about holy wars?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Did David slay Goliath? I'm asking you, did David slay Goliath? And when David slew Goliath, what did God say to David? He said to David, you are all of your fears is in my favor. And David slew Goliath. David slew Goliath, you have no problem with that. God exterminated the life of the wife of Lot. You have no problem with that. God initiated wars throughout the Bible, killing men, women, children, and even cattle and animals. In the flood of Noah.
Are you planning to stop sometime soon?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. I'm trying to show you where the God of the Bible and the God of the Quran, he has a consistent pattern of how he treats his enemies, how he exhibit punishment on this earth. So the Quran is not in absolute exclusion of that. The Bible says it. Now, here was my final question. I'm stopping now.
Wow. You said a lot of things there. Let me respond. Let's go through the details. Abdullah brought up, why did David slay Goliath?
Yes.
Well, David slew Goliath because Goliath showed up in Israel. Goliath challenged people who were living at peace, who were minding their own business, that they better come and fight him, and if they did not fight him and win, that he will, the Philistines would take Israelites as slaves, as captives, as subjugated people. In other words, Goliath was the Muslim of that time who was waging a jihad of that time, and therefore the non-Muslim of that time, who is David, who followed the true God, said, hey look, I am minding my own business in my own country. You are a foreigner and you don't let us live at peace in my country. Now let me come and meet you in war. What David did was, in broad daylight, he declared war because the enemy was in his land. And so he said, how dare the enemy has come here and slander the name of Jehovah. So he went to fight. That is by no means Muhammad. What did Muhammad do? What is jihad of the Quran? What is jihad of the Quran? Muhammad, instead of minding his own business, staying at his little home, wherever it was, he is moving away right now. Instead of doing that,
close to you, you complain when I move away. If I come close to you, you complain.
No. I'm telling. I told you.
I hug you as a
I told you.
What do you want me to do now?
Yeah. I say there is an alternative.
Who's it?
Don't come and touch me. Don't move away. Stay at a distance. That's a good alternative. Just stay there. Don't move away. So, what did Muhammad do? Instead of staying at his place, mind his own business, let others do their stuff, whatever they wanted to do, with their own properties, with their own lives. This troublemaker, what did he do? He went around causing trouble, taking over their properties, forcing under extreme physical duress the Jews and the Christians to convert and somehow give into the delusion of Muhammad and to take him as a prophet. For what reason? God knows. So David is no comparison to Muhammad. Muhammad is an evil fellow. Jihad is evil. Don't ever compare the self-defense. Once I finish, I challenge everyone, my dear friends, everyone who watches, every Muslim who is here, I challenge. I have have read the Bible multiple times. God of the Bible is noble.
Jesus Christ is
You will not find God of the Bible
take away our sins.
go and destroy people because they disagreed with him on religion. Never once did. He asked me what happened to Lot and whatever. Maybe I'll go to that later. God of the Bible never once went to destroy based on religious grounds. If he ever did, I will not follow him. He rather in love came to people, revealed himself and entered into covenants and made them follow him. In relation to other nations, he let them be who they were. In contrast, you have a death cult wanting to spread like wildfire, where the Islamic Allah never showed up to anyone, and therefore there is no reason for anyone to think he even exists. God knows who put together the Quran. God knows for what reason it was put together. But what we do know, you really need to pray as clearly, of course. You need plenty of help to defend this nonsense. What you find in the Quran as jihad is extreme wickedness, where Muslims are commanded to go around the world to take over, subjugate, kill. Surah 8, Surah 9, Surah 2, Surah 57, Surah 59, Surah 33, Surah and a few of Surah 47, Surah 48. Evil. Well, the whole Quran, as a matter of fact, apart from the few, apart from the few incomprehensible alif lam mim, most of the rest of the contents of the Quran are evil. So now I'd like to come back to you. What is the solution for jihad? That is the question I'd asked.
If we're going to have a conversation, which you invited me, I would like to ask you, I would like to have this conversation under two concepts. Number one, no insult to my Prophet Muhammad or any other prophet. That's number one. And number two is that we do a time share, equal time for each other. I'm not here to preach. The topic is jihad. And if the topic is jihad, the question of jihad, can we say jihad is of God or is it not of God? And I say to you in this conversation, violence on earth legislated by God. When you look at Moses and you look at the plagues, God has ordained. He legislated.
Are you now coming to an agreement on the topic? Is that what you're saying?
We agreed on the topic. We should do some time.
No. You said you wanted to rephrase. Can we agree on the topic? Is jihad evil or good?
All right, we're going to discuss that. Do we agree on timing? And also, you have to agree of no insults to Prophet Muhammad.
Well, what do you mean no insults? I only state facts. What do you mean no insults?
Do you agree on no insults?
Well, I don't understand what you mean. I only state facts.
The question is, would you agree no insults to Prophet Muhammad?
Okay, listen to me carefully.
Repeat ourselves.
How many of you are hearing what he's saying?
Everyone can hear.
Yeah.
I said no insults.
Sure. Now let me respond.
You cannot insult Muhammad and have a conversation with me. It's not going to happen. You cannot insult no prophet of God and have a conversation with me.
Listen carefully.
Now, here what is the difference between facts
You
and
spoke,
insult?
now can I respond?
Can I define what facts is?
Yeah, please.
Facts in this conversation is a text. If the Quran says something, that's a text, a textual quotation. If the Bible says something, that's a textual quotation. If the Hadith says something, that's a textual quotation. Now, if you take that text and you convert that into a hate speech,
Someone coming with a sword or something and forcing you to agree to something which you don't have an agreement with, that is jihad. He's only no good. The only excuse he has is that apparently God of the Bible did that. I would like for him to show one instance where God of the Bible forced someone to believe in him when they did not want to believe in him in the world, across the world.
right. So first of all, how are you doing? You're right. Good. First of all, We were talking about jihad, and I made a statement that the jihad he is referring to is in reference to wars. Now, he is making the claim that the Quran mentioned jihad specifically in regards to wars. Now, the Quran uses the word jihad not always specifically in relation to wars. It also makes the reference of jihad in against yourself. As Allah says, وَتُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِأَمْوَالِكُمْ.
He's not talking about that one. He's talking about the one.
Don't disturb, sir. Don't know what I'm
You're part of the conversation.
Sorry, don't.
Are you
That's fine.
part of the conversation? Do you want to get the part of the conversation?
He's not talking about that.
No problem. We'll pause the time.
Again,
We'll pause the time. We'll pause the time. We're Christians. We pause the time.
If it was possible, then why would God give anyone
Please,
a choice?
please. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll discuss. Sorry, one second. Yeah, please go ahead.
Would have just made us all
No, one second.
I heard you when you said it multiple times.
Abdullah, I'm here. Please. This is Speaker's Corner. Please stay focused.
just made us all Muslim.
One second. Please. Keep pause the time.
Okay.
Pause the time. You can start again. Yes, sorry.
So my input, you ready? Yeah. So my input is saying here, according to the Quran, jihad also means to strive hard against yourself. And every time you see jihad in the Quran, it doesn't mean specifically wars. However, the gentleman is making reference to jihad in reference to war. So what is this jihad in reference to wars? The jihad in this reference to wars have to do with the same Sharia, the same law applied to Moses. God gave Moses laws, and in those laws have punishments. Those laws have rights, and according to Islam, jihad is applicable in which there are major tyranny, oppression, and wars against God. So God gave rights to fight against evil and oppression. Jihad is not senseless killing, as the gentleman would like to say. Jihad is not godless. It is not godless, as jihad goes right back to Moses and beyond. And the same jihad of righteousness, you see that same jihad expressed in the life of David and Goliath. As I said that before. Good. I'll bring jihad from the Bible.
The typical gaslighting Muslim who follows a typical gaslighting Islam does the typical gaslighting act at Speaker's Corner. He wants to whitewash everything. He uses the term war. Think about Manchester Arena bombings. He would like to call them war. Think about the Jewish people who are being still stabbed across our nation, in the streets of our nation. He wants to call that a war. Can you imagine the level of nonsense going on here? My dear friend, he is trying to substantiate, justify jihad by going back to Moses. My dear friends, one good important point. Find one example where God of the Bible gave an instruction to Moses and said, hey, look, go convert everyone outside of Israel to come and worship me, and if they refuse to go, kill. Find one instance. Somehow he is hiding behind a whitewashed story, nonsense, by hanging on to precious Moses, marvelous Moses. Moses is not Muhammad, my dear friends. Speak about what Muhammad taught. What is jihad according to the Quran? It wasn't a law, it was an expansionary tactic that was given to people who did not agree to it. Jihad was instructed to be practiced by Muslims, violence to be employed going across the world to take over the world for Islam. Did Moses do this? No. Did Moses go around the world to take over the world for Judaism? What is the level of brain damage am I dealing with here? This guy is a typical gaslighter. Jihad of Islam is on religious grounds, physical violence against people people who refuse to take up Islam admit to it that it is straightforward evil.
This is a lie. This is a lie. You know why?
Thank you. I'm not interested, sir.
No.
Thank you.
You have to prove it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have to prove it. I'm that's a different prove it. If you are saying to me,
So excuse me, once more.
prove it.
Please. If you want a separate debate, there's plenty of space there. Please, thank you. We can move on. Thank you.
Lies.
Don't wait jihad here, sir. Please, we move there.
When you say something,
Wait jihad somewhere else. Thank you.
because otherwise anyone come here and say that.
Whoa! Don't be angry, sir.
Very easy.
Plenty of jihad is already. We don't need one more. Please move away, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
It's okay.
Now, when we debating, we having these conversations. We have these conversations to give God the glory and to put truth forward. Now, this gentleman made a claim saying that I was in support of some jihad against Jews. I'm implying that. I never said that, and that's wrong. We were talking about textual concepts of jihad. Textual means the Bible concept of holy wars and the Quran concept of holy wars. We made no references to contemporary issues, and any kind of wrongdoing done in the name of jihad, I reject that and I disconnect myself from that. But he's trying to apply that to me, which I did not do. That's unfair. That's untrue. That's unjust. That's evil. Now, I'm only here to say what God said. When God is the one who punished the wife of Lot by killing her, what crime did the wife of Lot do? God exterminated her life. That's violence. Again, if you can see in the flood of Noah, God punished man, woman, children, and cattle. God did that, not me. If you look again into the Bible, you will see God sent punishment in the plagues of Pharaoh. He sent 9 plagues to Pharaoh, severe punishment. So much so that diseases befell them, man, woman, and children. God initiated that. So my argument to the conversation is textual, has nothing to do with contemporary issues, have nothing to do with anybody who doing jihad in the name of Islam in a wrong way. I reject that, and to attribute that to me is wrong and is lie. Now, I am simply saying, from a biblical point of view and from a Quran point of view, God has initiated violence and punishment against sinners, disbelievers, and anybody who war against God.
Again, the only excuse that Abdullah has given. Let's get back to the topic. Is jihad good or evil? I haven't got an answer from him yet. Is he saying Manchester Arena bombing is good or evil? Because Manchester Arena bombing happened according to Surah At-Tawbah and Surah Al-Anfal and Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Muhammad and all sorts of other surahs across the Quran. For instance, Surah At-Tawbah, ayahs 38, 39 and 41. 41 says, go forth.
I will not be sitting here to accommodate you in hate speech insulting Prophet Muhammad or any other prophet. We agree on the topic, we agree on a time, 2 minutes to you, 2 minutes to me. 1 minute for you, 1 minute for me, and no insults. That's the agreement. Can you agree with that?
Listen carefully, okay? Abdullah, you are a human being. You are stood in front of me. You are a human being. You are stood in front of me. Unfortunately for you, we are dealing with a very serious topic. Look at these fellows. Can you see these fellows? Who I am trying to provoke them. Did I make them wear the mask?
You are trying to provoke them.
Did I put the mask on? Did I put the hoodie on?
You are here to provoke.
Did I clothe him with the hoodie when he came to Speaker's Corner?
You are here.
Did I put the hoodie on?
You are here to incite religious hatred.
Look at the gaslighting involved here.
You are here to
Look at the
incite
gaslighting.
religious hatred in Speaker's Corner.
I am
You are
here.
here to incite religious hatred in Speaker's Corner.
Listen carefully.
You're using religion to promote hatred.
Listen carefully.
I'm saying to you, if you want to have a conversation
Listen carefully.
about jihad, let's agree on the time. No insults to Prophet Muhammad, and we have equal time to share.
Let me tell you something very important. The topic we can agree on. Jihad Is it evil or good? Good topic. We both agree on this. Now, in relation to Muhammad and your idea of insult, I don't know where you're coming from. I could not agree to some arbitrary, deviant ideas.
It's deviant.
All that I can say, I will represent facts as best as I see to be appropriate.
In the language of hatred.
I don't hate it.
Insult.
I completely understand.
In the language of
I don't hate
hatred
anyone.
And in
Don't
the language
gaslight.
of insults.
I don't hate anyone.
Do you know why many people in Speaker's Corner
Are
don't
you-
want to speak with you? Do you know why many people
I know.
in Speaker's Corner don't want to speak?
I know.
Only person
Because
you
they are
target is
utterly
newcomers.
clueless.
You target newcomers to Speaker's Corner because they don't know you.
Listen.
Sorry? What? What are you doing?
So you have Abdullah show up at Speaker's Corner, and instead of starting a debate, he is ranting on and he's saying, I address only newcomers. He's not a newcomer. He could start the debate any moment. I am happy to start the debate right now if he wants. The topic is simple, and this is Speaker's Corner.
I have a question.
You put on with the put up with
someone
the
from the Christians to moderate the conversation.
There's no-
and the agreement is no hate speech.
There's no one who hates.
Speech is
No, it's-
defined. Hate speech is defined in this context. If you quote a text,
Yeah.
that's acceptable. You quote the Bible, you quote the Quran, you quote history, you quote a hadith, that's fine. But if you take that and interpret that and put that in hate speech to provoke and advocate,
Yeah, what is
then
a hate
what we
speech?
say-
The man is.
Give an example of hate speech.
No, I don't need to say. He's wasting his
But
time.
but let me ask you a question.
No,
You be the moderator.
bro.
You be the moderator. Come and let's have a moderator here. You want to be the moderator? You don't want to be the moderator? Right. Now, I have one thing I want to say. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, he said the worst people is that individual who people avoid them because of their bad character. The vast majority of Muslims in Speaker's Corner do not want to engage with you because of your bad character and your foul mouth.
Look at the hate speech. Look at the hate speech here.
Foul
Look at the
mouth.
hate speech.
That's not hate.
Religious
Foul
hatred
mouth.
at Speaker's Corner.
I am prepared.
Why do we come to Speaker's
I am
Corner?
prepared.
We debate. Instead of debating, he has spent all this time so far defending some fellow who is clearly indefensible, now attacking me.
You don't want to do
So you and I know the topic, my dear friend. Stay focused. There is no agreement on anything
Who wants
else.
to do the timing?
Is jihad evil or good?
I embrace the topic. Who wants to do the timing? Get a Christian to do the timing.
Is jihad good or bad?
Asking, let a Christian do the timing. Can you get it better than that? Do you want to do the timing, sir? Yes. Right. So first of all, we're going with 1 minute or 2 minutes. A minute and a half is enough.
2 minutes each.
2 minutes each.
He has nothing to say, so minute is
that's
enough
fine.
for him.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
but
fine.
for me, I have plenty of things to say.
Right, go on.
So you start. So you're going to the case. Do we both understand? Everyone understands the topic.
don't understand.
Is jihad good or bad? I'm assuming
I don't understand you.
that he won't end up being confused. He will argue to say somehow the jihad is good. I'm assuming that's what he'll do.
All right, we're ready.
Now, one second, brother. Sorry, let's do a stopwatch. No. Sorry, not no. Let's do a timer. Sorry.
The time.
Yep.
How many minutes?
2 minutes each. Yeah, 2 minutes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Ready?
Please go on. Yeah.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Go for it.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, you want me to go? That's fine. Good. So, is jihad bad or good? So let us define what jihad is. The jihad in which the gentleman here is referring to is an act of war. Now, according to the Bible and according to the Quran, God has a history of legislating holy wars. A Christian cannot tell me that he's honest and he's consistent and he doesn't like jihad, but the same jihad is mentioned in his scriptures. That's a contradiction and it proves he's insincere, deceitful, and lying. Now, if we look at God now, God sent to Moses laws of punishment, a life for a life. God sent to Moses punishment, capital punishment. God in both the Quran and the Bible legislated capital punishment of men, women, children, cattle, even cattle. So according to the scriptures, according to the Torah and all scriptures, you can even take the life of the cattle if the cattle was to commit a crime or an offense. So God has always killed. Now, if we look at David and Goliath, David slew Goliath because Goliath was a tyrant. So God have always used violence. God is the one who created volcanoes. God is the one who created lava, hurricane, storm. Now, if you look at Moses, when the children of Israel were disobedient to God, what did God send to them? He sent upon them plagues, punishing them. The firstborn of every living thing, their life was taken in the same Bible. So do not tell me jihad is wrong in context against tyranny, sin, and disobedience against God, but in your very scriptures, God initiated, He legislated a history of holy wars.
Jihad is mentioned around 30 times in reference to Muslims practicing it in the Quran. Across all 30 times, the references are in relation to some very important practice that is given to the Muslims. Very simple. Muslims have been asked to employ violence to go around the world and subjugate people who disagreed with them in religion. If you notice carefully, there are a few points in order. Number one, it is physical violence. Number two, practiced by not a supernatural force but by regular human beings. Number two. Number three, to be employed when there is religious disagreement. Can you imagine me today taking up arms, going around the world using my arms to force everyone to become Christian across the world, even when you disagree? Use violence to do that. Where do we see this? We see this in Surah Al-Anfal, ayat 72, 73. Those who believed and left their homes and jihaded with their wealth and their lives for the cause of Allah. What is the cause of Allah? We find that all over the Quran, which is for the entire world to become Islamic. Now, can you imagine, my dear friends, light armed or heavy armed, and strive with your wealth, jihad with your wealth. So it is clearly talking about getting up arms and going and fighting. And some people who were sensible, unlike Abdullah, were upset. They said, why should we fight? So 38, 39 ayats. O ye who believe, Muslims, what aileth you that when it is said to you, go forth in the way of Allah? Remember, see here carefully, Allah is provoking some Muslims to go somewhere and fight. No one fought against him, they were living happily, but he is provoking them to take up arms to go fight somewhere. So some sensible people clearly were unhappy. About them, Allah complains, take ye pleasure in the world rather than in the hereafter. Listen carefully, he is accusing them that they were comfortable with this world, meaning no one was coming to attack them. So jihad that is being described in Surah At-Tawbah was not a war in the way the gaslighting Abdullah is presenting. I don't know why he is lying. Well, I do know it's taqiyya in Islam. But what I'd like to find out is, does he agree that this jihad, which was there in the Quran, which is still practiced across the streets of our nation, he is willing to say, as practiced in the Quran, is evil. In contrast, when it comes to the Bible, show one place where God of the Bible asked anyone, including Moses or anyone else, to go around, kill, force someone to take up Judaism or Christianity for that matter, both. And if you don't kill them, find one place, he will struggle, sweat and run away.
Also, if I go and kill a lot of people, how many virgins will I have?
So one second.
Tell them, ask about the virgins.
Sure. It's a time debate, please. Please go ahead. Sorry, please. Once. Time debate. He's already failing. Please don't make him look. Please don't make him look successful. He's already failing. Please. Yeah, thank you. 2 minutes.
Okay, so you raised some issues concerning verses of the Quran. Now, that's beautiful. That's quite nice. I like that. But what happens when these verses are mentioned? Every verse, whether it's mentioned in the Bible or mentioned in the Quran, there's rules of interpretation and there's contextualization to it. No Muslim in Speaker's Corner or no Muslim I have ever met deny jihad. We do not deny it. We accept it. There's no country in this world denies the right to fight or the right to have laws or the right to have an army. We do not deny jihad. What we do, we define it correctly, we contextualize it as the best and the only means and option towards justice. Jihad is to push away injustice and tyranny when all other processes has failed. So we don't deny it. And however, when it comes to the Quran now, and somebody quoting Quran to explain jihad, it has a lot to do with context, and it also have a lot to do with, there's a time in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never fought. He was persecuted, he never fought. And God gave him permission to fight. No Muslim denies it. Saying we deny it or saying there is jihad in Islam, yes, every Muslim agree jihad is in Islam. Like the whole world agree, every country in this world have an army and they have laws. Islam is a complete way of life. It has an army, it have laws, it have conditions, it have context to everything. So we don't deny it. Trying to prove it exists, yes. Now, what is the purpose of jihad? I am a Muslim, I was a Christian, and I never become a Muslim because somebody fight me war. So he is trying to say everybody who believe in Islam come to Islam through his war. I am from Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, way on the opposite side to Saudi Arabia. I am convicted to Islam, not through war, but through conviction, belief.
Can I ask you one question?
So, please,
Very quick one.
Please, my dear friend.
I said when you still continue.
Please.
I said when you still continue.
But please.
Right?
You
Can
what you're saying is
Can I please, my dear, please.
Can you control yourself?
Can't kill 10
Please,
million.
please, thank you. Please, no,
The
please.
adults is having conversation here.
Please,
Adults is having conversation.
please.
Yes, for adults.
So, Abdullah, gaslighting Abdullah tells me jihad is a war waged in self-defense. And he says, somehow understanding context will help me understand that. I'll give you context, my dear friends. Muhammad of the 7th century was the Osama bin Laden of today. Muhammad of the 7th century is the Boko Haram and his entourage.
That is where it's done for me. Anytime let's go to that level.
Can I, whoa.
No.
This is called detail, facts.
No.
So he's disturbing me right now. He's disturbing me right now.
Just saying,
I'll give you context.
Going good.
I will give you context. I will.
No, it's over. Sorry.
When I saw Muhammad what? All right. So the Abdullah runs away. Look at him run away. Look at him run away because he cannot defend Muhammad.
You know why I run?
Muhammad is evil and he can't defend Muhammad and he runs away.
When you said
running away
that's why
is the only solution. Could I finish my 2 minutes?
That's why they don't want to have conversation.
Could I finish my 2 minutes?
Not with me.
You started. Could I finish my 2 minutes?
You said, Mohammed.
Could I finish my 2 minutes?
We agree not to insult.
Could I?
You are here to promote
could I finish?
religious
Could I finish my 2 minutes?
You are here to promote.
Could I finish my 2 minutes?
You're here to promote.
Could I finish my 2 minutes?
Violence.
Could I finish my 2
When
minutes?
you incite violence,
Could I
that's how
finish?
you prove your
Could I finish my?
You can finish as much as you like. That's why
Abdullah
I'm walking away from you. I'm walking away from you.
Abdullah agrees.
That's for the adults.
Speaking details about Muhammad is inciting violence. I completely agree. Muhammad, when you study his life carefully and in detail, you are getting to know a proper Osama bin Laden a gazillion times worse. I completely agree. But if that is what the facts are leading us to, let us better look at him waging jihad right now. Look at the clown, coward clown, waging jihad right now by pushing my friends. Jihad at Speaker's Corner. Is he trying to convince that Muhammad is a marvelous man, or is he trying to to employ physical violence. Look at them. Look at them. Clowns. Clowns. My dear friends, all of you have to carefully ask this question.
What's the question?
My friend is standing here just behind me for my safety. If that clown, the 10-foot clown, Goliath clown, would come behind him and push him here at Speaker's Corner, what would he do in his own street in Birmingham, also known as Pakistan? What would happen? Can you imagine? And these fellows want us to think that Jihad is some marvelous sweet that you can eat and enjoy the evening. My dear friends, Jihad is proper physical violence that began in the 7th century in the name of this woeful, murderous death cult called Islam.